All right. Hi, everyone. This is Sheila Kennedy of the Zebra Inc., and I am here tonight for our issue or our episode of Meet the Author. And we have a very special author with us this evening, and her name is Stephanie Sherwood. I have known Stephanie for, oh gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. I had the pleasure of going to California to speak with her and her wonderful group of women, actually twice. And this is just so wonderful when she had contacted me and said that she's writing a book, and we worked on it together and we produced something amazing. And Stephanie, her brilliance is just, her light is just shining through in every page of this book. And her book is The Tapestry Effect. But I would like to welcome you, Stephanie. Thank you for coming today. Yay! Yay! Stephanie, hold up your book and tell us a little bit about it.
It's the full title is The Tapestry Effect.
Stephanie, can you hold up your book? Yay! And this is The Tapestry Effect. Tell us a little bit about your book.
So the full title is The Tapestry Effect, Live in Freedom when God, Community, the Marketplace, and Story are woven together. And I actually have never read my book. I've only written my book.
Well, I've read your book several times, and I think it's amazing.
I was going to say probably more than several times you've read my book, but it was really interesting in preparing for this.
Yes.
I went in and I started reading what I wrote, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, it had to be so full of the Holy Spirit, because when I look at the words that are on these pages and the intention and the desire of the book, it's like crazy. Like it's almost an out of body experience.
Mm-hmm.
So what I want people to know about the book is two things. Your story matters, no matter what your story is. And I think we get really caught up in, I don't have this really crazy overcoming story, because I think that so many of the stories that we hear about, like domestic violence, rape, all of the icky things of life. And those are so many times where we think the story has a great impact, and it does, don't get me wrong. But what that does is it kind of takes somebody like myself, who for the most part has had a good life, right? And I've kind of dubbed it the good girl syndrome. And so in the good girl syndrome, we don't think our story matters. And what I can tell you is that our story matters. And that's probably the biggest takeaway I want people to get from the book is you don't have to have that overarching dramatic story to have impact. And the second thing I want people to know about the book is there are critics in our lives, and that is what the enemy will use to take away your impact. And so it's working through the story and knowing every aspect of your story is important. It may not be important to everybody that you share it to in the moment, but it's an important story. It is often planting a seed for somebody, or when you're sharing your story, it may not be meant for the person that you're sharing it to in the moment, but it's meant to give somebody a piece of knowledge that they can say, oh my gosh, when I was reading or I heard, and so we just never know the ripple effect of our story. And so those are my two biggest takeaways that I would want people to know about the book.
All right, well, that is absolutely beautiful. And it is so true, 100%. And I do think you have an overcoming story, though, Stephanie. And it's, again, it may not be quite as dramatic as some of them that you had mentioned. However, going from somebody who didn't use their voice, who found their voice, who's sharing their story when they weren't comfortable and didn't think they had anything to share, I think that's pretty cool that you're able to do that now. And you did that in a huge way. You didn't just speak that truth, you actually wrote that truth and you produced a book. And so
Yes.
that's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Woo, we do this at the Tapestry Network. This is clapping in sign language. So we do this when we do our videos.
All right. So Stephanie, tell me why you told us what we were going to get out of the book or what you wanted us to know, but tell us why you wrote the book.
Really, gosh, well, one, because I was told. I mean, honestly, if God hadn't told me to write a book, I wouldn't have written the book. I know that there are some people that are born with this burning desire to write a book. Like they know they're going to be an author, and the idea of that like gets them so excited to get up every day. That was not me at all. Not at all. But I think probably I knew that God was kind of poking things along the way. But I think one of the biggest catalysts on why I moved forward was I had wrote, and it's actually in the book, I had written something on Facebook, and a friend of mine from high school commented, and we weren't close friends in high school, but I had such an impact on her just by showing up on Facebook and writing things. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I can do that for one person, maybe I can do it for more. And again, it wasn't the self-serving place of I want to do it for more. It was that place of God's given me a voice. He's given me the ability to speak and to write. And I know he's asking me to do it. But if it hadn't been for Linda responding in that post and saying, I've been watching you, I don't know if I would have taken that step. So it is that the ability to have impact far beyond what we're doing here. You just never know where it's going to lead.
That is amazing. And I'm really glad that you said yes. And, the good Lord qualifies the called. He doesn't call the qualified, right? So I'm really glad that you said yes and that you were able to produce this beautiful, beautiful book. I know you've gotten a lot of feedback from the book and from the people that have read the book. And so what I'd like to know is what is one of the testimonies or the reviews that you've received that really meant a lot to you? If you could share that with us, that would be great.
So I've received a lot of feedback, but the one that, well, actually, I'm going to read one that's actually in the book. This is a friend that I've met through social media. We've only met in person twice. But when I asked her to read the book because she's outside of my inner circle. So she's more on the outside looking in. So she doesn't really even know me or know me well. And I really wanted that outside perspective. So she wrote, when I sit down to read a book, I absolutely love the anticipation of being introduced to someone's unique story. Stephanie Sherwood's The Tapestry Effect invites you to behold God's perfect care of her heart while she stewards the vital vision he gave her to see women in business experience the fullness of living life woven in. It was the perfect encouragement I needed for my heart, mind, soul, and especially my spirit, expanding my faith and giving me the courage to live out the dreams and visions in my own heart. What a blessing to glean from the life fully surrendered and fully engaged in loving God and others. And so that really sums up, I mean, in a nutshell, my desire for the book.
I can certainly. Well, it is a beautiful testimony and it is absolutely true. And so I can see why it touched you as much as it did. I would love for you to be able to share with us next a little bit about you. You might want to talk about the Tapestry Network, which is what certainly, prompted all of the things that are going on for the book, but also tell us how you like to spend your time away from writing, because we know that's not your favorite thing to do. So what is?
I love really there's two things. First is my littles. I'm a Mimi. So I have my three littles. I have my oldest is my granddaughter Charlie, and then I have my grandsons Caden and Colton. And I love family, and I love being able to be around them, to love them, and just pour into them. That just, it makes my heart so happy. And I really love building community. So when I'm not writing, I'm still using my voice. I'm just using it in different ways, but I love to bring women together, encourage them, equip them, support them, laugh with them, cry with them, and do it all over again. So those are my two biggest loves. Well, and of course I love my husband, but that's like a given. And I love my kids, obviously, but those are what I love to do when I'm not behind a computer.
I love it. And you bring community together so well. And tell me a little bit about the Tapestry Network, the community that you have created from scratch and have grown to be such a beautiful, beautiful vessel for women to meet each other and network with each other and pray together and all of those things. So share a little bit about that.
So it was, a long story, super, super duper short. It was just out of my own desire, my own need to recognize that I was a businesswoman, that I was called into the marketplace, and I loved Jesus. And I wanted to be in a place where we could be who God called us to be, to show up without apology in a place of, as we say, a space of grace, no drama, no judgment, to live life woven in. And it is just, gosh, I have to say, we've experienced some, super duper crazy things, and God has shown up in the most miraculous ways. And, using technology has been such a gift that we've been able to connect with more and more people, from all over the world. And it just continues to grow, and it continues to get sweeter, and we continue to have more impact and touch more lives. So I'm excited.
That is amazing. I just got goosebumps. Or God bumps, we'll call them, I guess. That's amazing. So if readers especially wanted to find out more about Tapestry Effect or Tapestry Network, and you, where could they connect with you?
The best place for all of that is the tapestrynetwork.com. We actually have a library section, and you can find my book in the library. You can find out about me there, and also the Tapestry Network. So it's one-stop shop.
Perfect. Well, that is awesome. And are you on social media, Stephanie? Can they connect with you there as well?
Yes. I'm on pretty much all the platforms. On Facebook, it's Stephanie Morin Sherwood. It's my maiden name. And then we're also, the Tapestry Network LLC is the corporate page. And then you can find us. I'm easy to find. I have not shut myself down. Google me, you will find me. So.
That's right. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you, first of all, trusting the Zebra Ink. And to help you bring this book into the world, and but also for tonight or today, getting to share and getting to meet you a little bit deeper and getting to know you a little bit better, and your willingness to connect with those that are reading your book. So thank you so much, Stephanie. Is there any last comments, anything that you would like your readers to know?
Well, I would love my readers to know how awesome you are. If it hadn't been for you, this book would not have come to be. You know, I think when you're not a writer and you're writing on what is a more sensitive subject matter, you really have to trust someone. And you were gracious and you were kind. You held my hand when my hand needed to be held. You kicked my butt when my butt needed to be kicked. You know, you are very, very, very gifted at what you do. And you pulled things out of me that I didn't know that, one, I didn't know that they were inside of me. And your ability to, again, look at it from the eyes of a reader and pull out some additional information that made the book that much better. So, you know, if you are looking to write a book, and especially if writing is not your strength, or not your thing, you know, my first response is going to be go check out Sheila and what she has to offer, because it was, and I know I'm not the easiest person to work with, and so you made it fun. Something that I dreaded.
Not
you
true.
Actually made it fun.
You were very easy to work with.
Oh no, I'm not easy to work with. I know that.
Well,
I'm not.
yes, you are. Well, Stephanie, thank you. I really appreciate that. That was totally not what I was expecting you to say. I thought you were going to tell us more about, you know, the book or, you know, tapestry. So I really appreciate that, you know, like I'm trying to hold it together right now. That was really kind of you, and I appreciate you sharing that. But it was such an honor and such a joy to be able to make this book happen. And so I just appreciate you and I collaborating on this and being able to do that. So thank you.
You're
so much.
welcome. Well, and I think
All
that
right.
that's one
Well,
of the, I was going to say, I think that's one of the things that's important about living life woven in is it's weaving together the resources. And you were a resource, you were a friend, you were committed. And so I guess that would be my last thing about, it's not so much about it's the book, but the life. It's finding your people and sewing into them and allowing them to fill you back up. So that'd be that's my closing thought.
That is beautiful. And yes, and I think the tapestry effect is actually a lifestyle. And I love thinking about it that way because it really is. And weaving in and connecting and all of those things, we're always supported. And if we're open to it. And so I really appreciate you being with us today, Stephanie, and being with us all along and sharing what you have today. It's been such a pleasure. And thank you. All right, everybody.
Bye.
We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.